Co-cultures are distinct cultural groups whose values, beliefs, or behaviors are different from those of a larger culture which they come from. Cultures have many different subcategories. This is where co-culture stems from and develops. There are a few key differences between culture and co-culture. Language, values, beliefs, traditions, and customs are aspects of culture that people share and learn from one another. Co-culture refers to a sense of belonging to a group as part of a larger culture. So basically, co-cultures are people who come from the same culture but have differences that set them apart from the larger, more dominant culture. In addition to race, religion, and gender, co-cultures can also include age and generation, disabilities, and social status. The United States has a variety of co-cultures thriving throughout our society. For example, the LGBTQIA+ community is a co-culture that includes lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual people. I think that this is a great example of co-culture in America because it involves people who come from similar, larger cultures but have different views, beliefs, and perspectives from others. There are many other examples of co-culture, including Jewish Americans, Deaf Americans, African Americans, senior citizens, and even gangs.
Co-cultural theory was introduced in the 1900s by Mark Obry. Mark Obry started the process of co-cultural theory when he himself felt marginalized in grade school because he was in a biracial marriage as well as part of a lower class. Mark and some colleagues of his were exploring how unrepresented group members in society communicate their life experiences with other unrepresented group members. Adding to that, Mark also wondered why cultural difference is the most noticed by others in our society.
The reason that co-cultural theory was created in the first place was that we could better understand how people of a lower social status behave. Co-cultural theory was created and derived from Mark Orr's research, and it is something that we see very much today in our own society. In co-cultural theory, 5 assumptions form the basis and also help to drive this theory. The first assumption is that there is a ranking of power and that certain people's ranks in society allow them to have more power or to have access to more power. The second assumption is that the people in these powerful ranks hold most of the powerful positions, and they use these positions in order to keep and create order. These positions are almost always made to benefit them. The third assumption is that the people of power work against people in their groups with different cultural ideas and wants than they have. The fourth assumption is that co-cultural group members accept the differences between these co-cultures and recognize similarities to groups with similar positions in society to them. The last assumption is that people within co-cultures will be more aware of the importance of taking on communication behaviors that help them negotiate with these people of power in most of these cases. These assumptions are essential for understanding how exactly co-cultural theory works, what it is meant for, whom it is meant for, and why it is important for people to know it.
Co-cultural theory is supported by the differences in cultures and groups' communication. It is used to help cultures communicate their identities with one another in different social situations. Minority cultural groups always seek to share their identities with other cultures, counteract discrimination, and try to fit into society. There are 5 premises that majority group members could utilize their social privilege to demean others. In the original article, Two Sides of the Same Coin, Conceptualizing Dominant Group Theory in the Context of Co-Cultural Theory, Robert Rosante and Mark Orb wrote, societal hierarchy exists. Those of dominant group membership use power consciously or unconsciously to reinforce systems of power. Dominant structures impede on co-cultural group members' lived experiences. Different co-cultural groups communicate within similar power-laden contexts, and co-cultural communication involves strategic use of specific communicative practices. Lastly, non-assertive communication shows that the speaker's dominance is not being displayed and is intended to be non-confrontational. Aggressive communicators put their own needs and expectations above those of others as they attempt to assert dominance with a controlling attitude, having no concern for others' opinions. Finally, keep the following statement in mind. Co-cultural communication defines minority groups when communicating with dominant groups searching for commonalities, while also maintaining diversity to function in a dominant society.